Jason Podcast. Tune in for everything you need to know regarding the automotive industry. Here's your host, Jason Harris.
Hey, what is going on, Automotive Nation? I am Jason Harris here, and thank you for joining me on another episode of Strategy with Jason, where I get to talk to, well, anybody and everybody I want to talk to, specifically about NADA. Yes, I said it, NADA, or depending on the side of the country you're in, NADA, tomato, I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, guys, I'm talking about the biggest, baddest Super Bowl of automotive conferences, literally coming up here in like a few days. All right. But I had to get one more chat in. All right. Before we get there. And I get to talk to a really cool person. In fact, actually, I'm super stoked to talk to this because, guys, you know me. When I get to talk about marketing, I get giggly. And I'll try to keep the podcast down to a reasonable time frame. But, I like marketing, so I love talking about it. All right, guys. Look, I have the one, the only, the oh so famous. He didn't have to pay me to say that. I have Art with me from C-4 Analytics. Art, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm excited to talk to you. I'm the world's most okayest guy, if that's what you're looking for, and we're here to talk marketing. I'm excited.
You guys, you know what? Real quick for everybody out there watching, listening, we were just on a call with Art and Kyle, director of marketing, and Kyle has no idea that we're doing this. So he thinks we might be recording something and then eventually doing it. And then once Kyle leaves, we're like, nah, let's go live. Let's talk to everybody right now. And I said, Art, let's do it. This is a great idea. We definitely need to do this. Okay, Art, man, this is like the Super Bowl, all right, of events. And I want to get into it. But real quick, before you do that, I love kicking off these conversations with a little origin story. Because I'm just fundamentally fascinated how in the world anybody gets into the automotive industry. So if you don't mind, let's start real quick. How in the world did you get started in this crazy little world we call the automotive industry?
That is a great question. So I grew up in it. My mom, my dad, my aunts and uncles on the automotive industry. And aunts and uncles, that's a relative term. They were like my dad's best friends. And I think when you're talking about automotive, there's like a brotherhood, sisterhood with it, right? When you're in the trenches, we call it, together. So, lots of folks that I grew up with, my aunts and uncles, they were aunts and uncles. My uncle just retired. He's my dad's best friend after 42 years at Volvo, awesome. Red Bank Volvo. Shout out to them. And then my dad was in with Toyota. He was a Toyota Pro for 20 something years. So I was in with Toyota. I just got addicted to it. But I did work in fintech, pharma, SaaS, education, and sports.
You tried them all.
So
you tried them all.
I did.
Automotive.
Yeah, the people. It's the people that bring me back. The people in automotive are just amazing folks, right? And some of the most innovative, but also resilient folks. And when I want to know, like the core of me is a resilient person. So yes. I just kind of, I just gravitate towards it. And, I've been lucky to find a great company at a few of them, but really at C4, the culture here is amazing. So, awesome. It's really automotive based. And when I got into it, I just love it. Honestly, I love the automotive industry.
Once it's in your blood, you can't get it out. So no surprise to me that you grew up around it, went and tasted a few other things out there. And when you ultimately came home, it doesn't surprise me at all. And guys, I'm a big fan of what C4 does. One of the things I love is just the way you guys partner. I love the approach you guys take, because I think too often I work with a lot of data companies, analytic companies, marketing companies, and there's just this kind of coldness. But I will say one of the things I've always appreciated about you guys is this very consultative, very vendor partner-esque. And I don't know if that's intentional, if it's just going to happen that way, but it's something that I've always really appreciated about you guys. So I'm excited to get into this conversation. Real quick, Art, how many NADAs is this for you? I'm just curious.
So this is number 2.
Okay.
So this is number 2 for me. Last year was, as we all know, was a tough one.
Yeah.
I think I had 6 or 7 flight cancellations. I had multiple flights to different cities to make sure I could get there. It was a challenge to say the least, but I'm going to be excited not to see the sign of, we had some snow. and please excuse our mess. That's gonna be nice not to see this year.
It's gonna be really good not to see this. I mean, I'm with you, man. I think I ended up taking, I got redirected a couple times. Ended up, I believe, in somewhere in Texas, and then ended up having to rent a car and drive. Which ironically ended up driving the same amount of distance that I would have drove if I just drove from Nashville in the first place. So that was hilarious, man. White knuckled that puppy all the way in. But we're not gonna have this problem this time. I think
no.
There's gonna be a great showing. There's gonna be a lot of people there, and look, marketing is definitely something that they're going to be exploring. Dude, I looked at the workshops. I mean, you just look at the list of workshops, by the way, right? Like there's a very heavy data-driven theme in a lot of the marketing workshops. And I'm like, yes, that's where it's supposed to be. Let's go. I'm jacked about that. I'm excited about that. So let's kind of dive into this in your perspective. All right. Dealers coming in and, they have marketing kind of on that bucket list. They may be looking at some of the educational workshops. They want to come by and look and talk to some of the guys on the expo floor. From a marketing perspective, what do you think dealers should be preparing for before coming to this big show?
I think they should be preparing to fully understand where AI fits into things, and where audiences fit into things. I think when we talked about what our plans were at C-4 for NADA, it was, and this really started a few years ago at Digital Dealer. We needed to be a voice in the automotive community, a bigger voice. I think we had always been really smart, really analytical, really great at lower funnel stuff, really great at efficiencies, but we didn't talk a lot. And when I say that, we weren't as vocal with our thought leadership. And so a few years ago, I went to Digital Dealer and I asked around, what would you want us to do more of? And it was really that. And what we found and what we really wanted to concentrate when we were talking internally of how to handle NADA, it was, give the dealers, whether they're our clients or not, information that can help them. I don't think it's any shock that this is a tough pressure time for automotive. The economy is, in flux consistently. Tariffs are out there. Floor plan costs are high. Interest rates are high. The average cost of an automotive, an auto right now is the highest it's ever been for a new car. Yep. So what we wanted to do was, we know that a dealer from their perspective has 50 million things aside from marketing, and marketing is such a huge part of it, right? Yes. 50 million other things to focus on. And what we wanted them to walk away from NADA, again, being a part of the automotive community, was that they would have some nuggets to then be more efficient and make sure that their dollars go farther. And that really goes back to the core that we have at C4, which is we're part of the automotive community, whether you're a client or not. And we need to give you as much information as possible so you can be efficient. And maybe it's one less thing that you have to worry about. Right?
Well, it's that strategy driven. And see, that's one thing, guys.
Yes.
Like I said, I talked a little bit about how I appreciate you guys' kind of, vendor partner approach to it. Right. But it's that drive for strategy. And you said it really well, Art, regardless if you're working with us or not. That's what I appreciate. I appreciate about that. Right. It's hey, even if guys look, we work with a lot of dealers. We do a lot. We manage millions and millions and millions of dollars of advertising out there. We have an obscene amount of analytics and data that's out there. But regardless, even if you're not doing business with you, we still want you to have a good strategy. And that's one thing. Look, hey, Art, I hate to say it, but there's still a lot of dealers out there where marketing is like a proverbial checkbox. Where it's okay, Google, check, Meta, check. Instagram, check, email, check. You know what I mean? They're just checking off boxes. And I appreciate how you guys are. We strategy first, data first, then get in the creative, then get into it. Okay. So let's get into this kind of from a strategy perspective, how you guys approach this because I've always respected the way that you guys have approached the marketing. Let's dive into what people can find out a little bit. We'll give them just a little sneak peek of what that strategy is.
Totally. Great. I think what we looked at was like, we have these direct partnerships with a lot of different vendors, Premion, Amazon, Microsoft, TikTok, Google, just to say the least. And actually just recently we became the first automotive TikTok channel partner. Awesome. And we're actually going to do a TikTok talk on Tuesday. Shout out to them.
That's right.
Tuesday. So what we did was we created these like vendor chats at our booth. And again, what we wanted folks to walk away with is just like, and that was what they should be walking away from NADA, is just a few nuggets, right? There is so many vendors, so much information that's going to be coming at you. You should be walking away with just a couple nuggets to look for areas of opportunity to find efficiency, right? Or to look for someone who's going to make your life easier. Ultimately, that's what you need, right? Somebody who you can totally trust to handle, whether it's marketing, chat vendors, your DMS, whatever it is you're out there looking for. Somebody you can totally trust and make it easy, make your life easier. Somebody you can say, here's all the information. Give me the strategy that's going to grow sales in this zip code, 2 or 3 sales a month, right? Looking for that.
Look at Art real quick. Everybody out there watching and listening right now, I just need to take a moment and you hear what he's saying, okay? Like this is not just proverbial check boxes, okay? This is like, give me your operational objectives. I mean, dude, I'm telling you right now, I've been talking about this for years. If you guys have been watching my show, I've talked about this. You got to meet with your vendor partners. They got to be a partner. I'm big on being a partner. You got to meet with them. You got to share intimately what your objectives are, not just like, I want to sell more cars. Okay, Sherlock. All right. But you need to intimately share that. And you need to be able to trust someone that's got a data-driven strategy that's going to take those dollars. And to your point, and Art, you've used the word many, many times, so I love it. And I want you to go a little deeper into it, is efficiency. All right. And I can't tell you how much ad dollar waste I see right now in our industry. When you say the word efficiency, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps right now. I'm like, yes, thank you. Someone said, anyways, continue, because I do want to go more into efficiency, because to your point, I think that's exactly what dealers need. They need data-driven efficiency, and you guys do an amazing job at that.
Yeah, I think when you're talking about efficiency, it's not just a buzzword. I think it's like, and I think you touched on it earlier, where you were talking about platforms, right? I have Google, I have Meta, I have TikTok, I have Premion or your CTV partners. We have you're pitched a bunch of different marketing platforms. We all know that. What I think we don't boil it down to is that, how do we drive demand, and then how do we capture it?
Good
right?
point.
How do we create demand for our brand, and then how do we capture it in the most efficient way, right? How are you going to get to your additional, if you want to sell 25 or 50 or 75 more cars a month, what's the plan to get there from a business perspective? Like, if I need to sell more F-150s, let's look at your sales by zip data, and let's look at your pump in, pump out reports. And then let's look for the efficiencies on the zips. And then let's go create demand in those zips, right? Whether it's cross shoppers or owners. And then let's look for the inventory we're going to put in front of them, right? Because car buying's an emotional process.
Well, it's emotional process.
You have to get emotional about it.
Yeah, no. And look, there's stages. You can't just single ad out there, right there. And I love the fact you're bringing this up. There's people in the consideration stage. There are people in the shopping stage. You really actually, here's the thing, as an industry, and I think we get better, and obviously I think you guys help a lot with this too, it's like actually providing a real shopping experience. I think too often in our industry, we want to jump straight to digital retailing, and we just want to go to the retailing experience, and we forget that there actually has to be a shopping experience. But there's, but to your point, a lot of agencies skip this entire section up here. That consideration phase is so insanely important, and to your point, efficient, when you're targeting them up there, because it costs a hell of a lot less money to get their attention up there than you do when you're down in the funnel. I'm sorry. Anyways, continue, because I love everything about this.
I mean, you're 100% right. We at tier 3, right? When you're talking about tier 3, our auto dealership, we have to create demand for our brand.
Yes.
right? We have to create demand for our brand. And how do you do that? You have to go out and talk to folks who are in market, or if you're using Amazon's predictive in market modeling, somebody who's about to be in market, right? Mm-hmm. And tell them about your vehicles, your service, your why buys, those sorts of things. And we can get into creative later, right? Because there's a whole
another piece of this podcast just in itself, right there.
Creative, right? And you have to make sure you're targeting the right audience with the right messaging. Mm-hmm. I think you said something earlier that really sparked something early on in my career. Avinash Kushnik, who worked with Google, he was talking to me at this conference, and he pointed to me and he's like, if you always focus on lower funnel, it's like walking around in a place and saying, you want to buy a car? You want to buy a car? Do you want to buy a car? Do you want to buy a car? Exactly. Do you want to buy a car? To each individual person. Yep. Right. If you always focus there, that's what you're doing. If you target the ad to the person who you're trying to talk to, then you're saying, do you want to buy a car because you're interested in a car? I have it. Right.
Oh my gosh. Art, you are speaking my love language right now, man. I'm telling you. Okay. Look, guys, for years, if you've been watching the show, I have a major thesis on this. All right. And that is, as an industry, we have to stop. And I mean, stop counting the amount of leads that are coming into the dealership and focus on how many conversations. And that all starts with your marketing. If your marketing only has the objective to get someone's first name, last name, email address, phone number, shoe size, blood type, and firstborn, just to shove it into a CRM, send them an automated response that's like, hey, thank you for your time, but we don't appreciate or respect your time. We'll get back to you when it's convenient for us, not when it's convenient for you. Then you guys are doing this the wrong way. If you're right from the get-go, like what Art is saying, right from the get-go, if you're marketing with the intent of getting into conversation, that is the type of lead you want, not just someone filling out a form because you promised them something you're not going to give them anyways. I'll stop. Look, Art, I apologize. I find these rabbit holes and these soapboxes, and occasionally I can jump on them, man. But I'm with you. Look, Art, I know we're getting towards the tail end of our conversation, but real quick though, before I let you go, dealers are going to come by, man. They're going to come by. I'm telling you guys, you have to come by. You got to see Art. All right, just at least say hi, right out loud, right? But what should they be coming by asking for? What can they expect kind of with you guys? What are you guys doing at the booth? There you go. What are you guys doing at the booth?
So first, quick plug for myself. I'm doing a talk, and the talk is named, Does Size Really Matter? And I'm just going to leave it right there. So if you want that's Thursday from 4 to 5. You're going to hear me talk about, does size really matter? And I'm not giving you any else on that talk. But we do have TikTok. We're going to talk about what's next with TikTok. Again, we're the only automotive company that is a channel partner with them. We're a strategic partner with them because we see the growth there. There's a lot of growth that's coming from TikTok, and we're on it. When it comes to Amazon and a specific OEM and us are partnering on a new venture. So you can find that at our booth as well. We're talking to Microsoft, we're talking to Premion, Polk, and Google. So what we've done is we've collected all these marketing leaders, and we said, regardless of whether you're a client of ours or not, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not about selling you something. It's about giving you those nuggets to know whether you're going to be efficient in whatever marketing you're doing, because you have 50 million other things going on to worry about. And we want to take away some of that worry because we're part of the automotive community, and it's our job to help you with that in being a leader. And that's being a thought leader in the automotive community. And that's what we wanted to do at NADA. We wanted to say, we'll use our partnerships with all these different vendors. We'll plan, talks with them. I'll work 24 hours a day, it seems like at this point, to plan them. But I'll plan with them on how we can just give you 2 or 3 nuggets to go back and say, all right, am I spending efficiently here?
Yes.
Or am I doing the right thing here? If you do need us to help you, we're there to help you. But we really wanted to provide just the information because we're part of the automotive community, and it's our responsibility to do that.
Guys, look, you can see when I start these episodes and I tell you that I get to talk to whoever I want to talk when it comes to like really moving the wheel, guys, I'm serious about that. And you hear Art's very serious about it. C4 is very serious about it. The fact that they're willing to take the time and invest the very expensive real estate that is their booth, all right, to just being like, hey, I love this. It's very Radio Shack-esque, and maybe I'm dating myself by saying Radio Shack, but it's you got questions, we got answers. Come on by the booth. The booth 4851. All right. You guys need to come by 4851. I know I'm going to come by at some point in time for sure, because me and Art are going to continue some of this conversation. Look, Art, I know that we haven't totally finished all of our conversation here. For anybody out there watching and listening right now who would love to continue some parts of the conversation or connect with you and just learn more, what's the best way to do so?
I mean, LinkedIn's a great opportunity. And you're going to see my title again, world's most okayest guy. And that's true. I'm pretty mid, as the kids say. But obviously you can contact us at C4, art.pier@c-4analytics.com as well. You can email me, again, regardless of whether you're a client or not. I'm part of the automotive community. I've been in it for my entire life. So I'm here to help. Right.
I love it.
I'm here to help.
I love it. And I really do appreciate it. And guys, I encourage you guys, really do stop by. I think C4 is doing things differently. You need to find out just how different they are. Come by, say hi to them. Hey, look, one of the biggest compliments you can give us as content creators is to share the show. Look, I'm not going to ask you to smash the subscribe button or uppercut the like button, because I know you're not going to do it. All right. But one of the biggest compliments you can give us as content creators is share the show. If you got a manager or a colleague that needs to see some portion of today's conversation, sharing the show means a lot to us. Hey guys, thank you so much for taking the time to jam with us today. This has been a blast. Art, you rock. I'm excited to see you, man, here just in a few days. For everyone out there, we will see you guys at NADA shortly. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Strategy with Jason podcast. Your host, Jason Lewis. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Happy podcast.